All right. Hello, guys. Hello, labbers. It's 𝗙Con, and I'm back with another video. Now, I'm here in lovely Turkey. I'm sitting in the kitchen and under a nice air conditioner because it's 92 degrees outside and it's quite muggy. But I decided to set up here in the kitchen, which is pretty nice, although this table is kind of rocking a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. That's okay. I hope no one gets dizzy. Yeah, it's been about a week or so since my last video, which was, of course, that interview with 𝗙់_𝗿, and you guys seem to love it, so I'm very happy about that. I had a great time and a great deal of fun talking to her, and we plan to do more in the future and bring in some other people, so that's going to be fun. Anyway, yes, I've been on the road. You know, I drove here from Germany, and that's, God, let's see, that first leg before I hit the sack at a hotel in Zagreb, Croatia, was about 11 hours, 12 hours drive. And then the rest of the way I drove through Serbia, Bulgaria, over here to Turkey. That was about 15, 16 hours because I drove through the night, and we got here about 7, 8 in the morning when the sun was coming up. So I needed a few days to just recover from all that. As you can imagine, it's pretty exhausting and disorienting. So I wanted to be nice and fresh for you guys when I did another video. So I am kind of fresh right now, although I'm hot and a little bit sticky, so not that fresh, but that's okay. We'll make do however we can. So for my first video back, I decided I was going to look at this comment from one of the viewers here, and this one is from 𝗙់_𝗿. I'm pretty sure I slaughtered that. 𝗙់_𝗿. Let me know if that's correct. I hope it is. You know, you can just say that's correct or that's incorrect. I don't know how you're going to correct me in a comment, correct my pronunciation, but I hope I got it right. It's either 𝗙 or 𝗙, and I think it's 𝗬, and it sounds Japanese. Am I correct? All right. Maybe I'm wrong about that too, but we'll see. Anyway, this is a pretty good one because, you know, it's actually 𝗙. He managed to get contact from his SP, from his specific person, his ex-girlfriend in this case. I think you're a he. I'm sorry if you're not. And then things kind of slow down a little bit, and so he's worried about what's going on here, and he's ready to give up again. So I'm going to go through this comment and kind of touch on some of the points he's making here and try to, you know, see what's happening and talk a little bit about, well, nothing's really going wrong here. That's the first thing to remember. Nothing's ever going wrong, okay? But let's get into it and we'll see what's going on here. So, hey, 𝗙Con, love your videos. Thank you. As they've been such an essential help for me and my end goal, which is ultimately to obtain a brand new relationship with my specific person, ex-girlfriend, and a success story on your channel. And I have no doubt that you will have a success story on my channel very soon. Also, I like the fact that you said I'm manifesting a brand new relationship with my ex-girlfriend. You've been watching my videos and paying attention, so that's good. I always say that old relationship is gone, and let it be gone. Okay, don't try to dig up the past. You're creating and manifesting a brand new relationship with this person now. So that's important to embrace because you're going to want to think of it as a new relationship, because as you do think of it as a new relationship, not necessarily a new person, but a new relationship, that triggers your mind to see it as something brand new, which means that you're going to kind of ignore, you're going to start to ignore whatever happened in the past, whatever the circumstances of the breakup or anything that happened. If it was negative, if you had fights and all that, you really want to leave that stuff behind, because what you're going to do is, if you don't, you're going to manifest that same crap again over and over. And you don't want that. You don't want that old relationship back because it didn't work, did it? So what's happening is here, you're not trying to change them, okay? Give that up. You're not trying to change them. This is about changing yourself, all right? So now you're going to move forward and you're going to become the person that you're going to be in that relationship, that you already are in that new relationship with your specific person, whether it's an ex or someone you may have never dated before, but that you want to date, okay? But of course, that part about a new relationship is most important if you're manifesting an ex back, right? So manifest the ex back. Don't manifest the old relationship back, right? Focus on it being a brand new relationship, and then you want to focus on what that relationship is going to look like and feel like. Focus on the specifics of this new relationship. How do you want it to be, right? That's very, very important. So, I've been trying to manifest her presence in my life. So, I want to stop there too, and I want to talk about trying. I've said that the hope and the energy of trying are kind of beggar energies, all right? What that indicates vibrationally is that you still see this as not already being a thing. It's not already in existence. And what I want to say is, in manifesting, you have to understand that the moment you have that desire and the moment you set that intention to have that thing, it's created. It exists already. It exists in this kind of hazy state. It's not quite physical yet. It doesn't exist physically yet, okay? But it's going to start to come into physical reality bit by bit through a process, all right? A series of events, a bridge of events, which he mentions in his comments in a minute, and I'll get more into that. But what's happening here is that when you say something like, I'm trying to do this, you're indicating that you believe it's not a thing yet. And it is a thing. That's a very important thing to understand with manifesting as well. The moment you have the desire, the moment you set the intention, it's a thing, okay? Now all you're gonna do is shift yourself, how you feel, shift your thinking and your feeling state into one of already having it, of already living that reality. Because the reality exists, you have to line up with it now, okay? So this isn't a matter of trying to do it, it's done, it's a done deal. And that's, the sooner you accept that, the easier this is going to be for you to manifest. For you to manifest, manifesting meaning bringing it into a feel it, hear it, taste it, touch it, physical state, all right? That you can point to and go, look people, here's my relationship, all right? So that's what you're trying to do here. You're bringing it out of that steam state, that hazy, foggy state, by focusing it into being, into physical being, okay? That's what manifesting is. So the thing is already created, it's already done. You're just lining up with it. You're shifting yourself to it. That's what's going on here, okay? So I've been trying to manifest her presence in my life and a relationship with her since January. Well, her presence in your life and a relationship with her are those two different things. You have to be clear about what you want here and what you mean here. Your intention has to be clear, okay? Why are those two different things for you? Her presence in your life could be, I guess, anything, right? I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean she shows up in the class that you're taking? She's also taking the same class, or you see her at the bus stop every day? I mean, you know, what does that mean? A relationship would be different, wouldn't it? So merge those two things. I mean, her presence in your life, what you want is her to be present in your life as your lover, as your partner, as your girlfriend, maybe your wife even, okay? So be clear about what you want here. If you just want her presence in your life, and that's what you're focusing on, then you can have her presence in your life, okay? And I suspect partly that's kind of what's going on here with your situation, okay? Be clear about that. I want her presence in my life. Well, you know what? That could mean anything, okay? That could mean you run into her at the bus stop. You run into her somewhere. People talk to you about her all the time. That's kind of having a presence in your life, okay? What you want is the relationship, okay? So be clear about that. Start calling it that. You know, her presence in your life is far too, well, it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? See, I'm still sleepy, aren't I? My brain is still catching up with where my body is right now. Anyway, I think you get the point. The point is that her presence in your life could mean anything. So you want to have a relationship with her. So just say, I'm manifesting a relationship with her. That's what I'm doing. Now, it's already a done deal, the relationship that I am now manifesting with her, that I am now bringing into physical reality out of that hazy state, that vibrational escrow, as Abraham Hicks calls it. And I like that because it's like the house is bought and paid for. It's just I'm waiting for it to be released. So I'm releasing it now by lining up with it. I just need the keys. I need the keys to the door, right? That's all it is. So that's what you're doing here. You're just lining up with the relationship, okay? So Recently, a lot of things have occurred, and he puts in brackets bridge of events. Now, bridge of events, and I've touched on this already, but I'm going to touch on it again because it's an important thing to understand. What we're doing is here, we're shifting realities, we're shifting timelines. So when you're manifesting and you're saying, you know, like I said, you set the intention for the relationship, the new relationship, it's already a thing, it already exists. All right, but it exists kind of out there in the mist, in the ether. You're bringing it into your life. You're bringing it into physical reality. You're manifesting it. But what's happening is you're shifting yourself to the reality where that is already a thing, where your relationship exists. But you're not going to do it just like by snapping your fingers, right? Life doesn't really work like that, and with good reason. You know, we always say this, have this joke, if you think of a pink elephant, and it just manifests right there on the spot, things could get pretty complicated pretty quickly, couldn't they? So you don't really want to just manifest the thing and have it just pop up in your life like that, because that's way too chaotic, and that could be very uncomfortable. You don't want to just shift timelines like that, shift realities like that, shift into another parallel universe just like that. Okay, that's way too disorienting, way too chaotic, way too uncomfortable. All right, what you want to do is have a gradual progression into that timeline, into that reality. And what happens, the way that gradual progression plays out is through this thing we call the natural bridge of events. And it'll be things like, yeah, maybe running into her and you guys saying hello to each other, getting a text message from her, or you sending one, and your relationship gradually improving, more and more communication coming in, other events occurring that bring you guys closer together, things like that, okay? Things kind of have to happen like that. So then one day you wake up and there you are in this new relationship, and you can look back and look at all the events and look at the process and see how it unfolded, okay? Of course, you don't have that perspective yet, and that's okay, because you don't want to worry about the bridge of events and how it's going to happen. You want to stop focusing on the how. The how is not your job. The how is what the universe does to bring you what you want. The how is what your inner being knows has to happen in order to get you to where you need to be, to get you your desire, to get you the new relationship. So you want to let go of the how. And I know your monkey mind wants to figure it all out, because that's how it's been trained, acculturated by the society and by the culture. You got to figure out all the problems yourself. That's not what manifesting and law of attraction are they? So you want to let go of the how. And I know that can be difficult, but again, teach yourself to do that. Teach yourself to let go of that, okay? And a good way to do that is to keep focusing back on the why. Why do you want what you want? How do you want to feel? Everything that we desire, everything that we want it for one reason, because of how we anticipate we're going to feel when we have it. So what we're really after is a state of being, a feeling, an emotional state, okay? Figure out how you want to feel. Why do you want this relationship so badly? Why do you want it with this person so badly? What do you think you're going to feel? What do you think what thing is going to be fulfilled for you emotionally and vibrationally when you have this thing? And then once you identify what that is, it could be just the feeling of being loved and adored, of being admired and cherished, the feeling of adventure and aliveness that can come out of being in a relationship. It could be security that you're after. Maybe relationships symbolize security for you. So then you focus on those things: love, being adored, security, adventure, and aliveness. All right? So once you identify the emotion that you want to feel, what you want to feel out of this, then you focus on that, and you look at all the other areas of your life where you already have that, where that's already present for you, and then you focus on that. You look at activities that you do that already let you feel that way, and you engage in those activities. You speak words and you think thoughts that conjure up that emotional state for you, okay? That's how you do it. That's how you line up with what you want. But first you have to identify what it is you want, and what it is you want means how is it you want to feel, okay? So the bridge of events at that point, once you line up with the feeling as often as you can, and as purely as you can, meaning no resistance, and let go of the anger you may have had for your ex and all that kind of stuff, then the universe will bring about these events that will play out, that will bring you two closer together, or put you two in each other's path or put you to exactly where you need to be to get into each other's path so that the new relationship can progress and unfold, all right? It's an evolution. It's a process. You don't want to interfere with the process. So that's the natural bridge of events, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So again, you've been paying attention, and I know other coaches speak about that here on YouTube, so you've probably heard that used again and again. But it's good. I'm glad you mentioned it because other people out there might not know what you're talking about. So they gave me an opportunity to explain it. Okay. Think of it this way too. If you're going to win the lottery, you have to go buy a ticket, right? That's a bridge of events. I mean, you drive by a grocery store or a gas station, and you go, hey, I'm going to stop in. I feel this need to go buy a lottery ticket, all right? And you buy it, and bam, you're a winner. But see, you have to do all those things first, okay? That's inspired action. So there has to be some kind of action, okay? That's a natural bridge of events right there, all right? And you know, it could be that, hey, you took a wrong turn by mistake, or something happened, or there was a construction site there and that street was closed, or there was an accident, so you took another route, all right? You've literally been rerouted by the universe, and then you happen to drive by the exact store that's going to have the winning ticket at that exact moment, right? And then you get the urge to buy it. That's a natural bridge of events. And we don't realize it as we go through life, but life is constantly rearranging things for us that way. It's constantly rearranging the game board for us, okay? We just don't realize it. We see it as a natural progression of events because we have to. Our minds wouldn't be able to conceive of it otherwise, all right? We have to see it as one scene, but really it's a bunch of scenes, different scenes like this, okay? A bunch of different little parallel realities all bleeding and blending into each other to make it seem seamless, right? Make it seem like one continuous motion, okay? Like a movie. You have to play it at a certain speed and shine light through it, and then what you see is smooth motion, continuing motion, right? That's what your reality is, your physical reality. It's like a movie, like it's something being projected, right, onto a screen. So that's what a bridge of events is. So anyway, but I digress. Let's get back into it. Recently, a lot of things have occurred, bridge of events, which led to our communication again. So there you are. It led to your communication. And I've also been working on my self-love in the meantime as well. Good. So you're focusing on yourself. And as you're focusing on yourself and you're letting go of needing her to be different, acting differently, you're letting go of this thing to need, the need for this thing to be how you want it to be right now by focusing on yourself, making yourself the best version of yourself that you can, loving yourself, making yourself the center of your life, not anybody else, okay? You see what happened. You allowed the process to unfold, and it brought you back into communication with each other, okay? So you already see how this is going on, how this happened, all right? Now, why would you stop doing that at this point? Now, here's what tends to happen, right? We tend to get so excited about this thing because it's the one desire. It's always that one desire that we want more than any other, all right? And in your case, it's this relationship with your ex. In another person's case, it might be that car or that lottery win or whatever it is. But in your case, it's this. This is the most exciting thing to you. So oftentimes it's like this. We manifest awesome things all the time, constantly, but we don't really care. They're not really on our radar that much. We kind of go, oh, that's cool. Someone bought me a cup of coffee. Oh, that's cool. Whatever. I found the perfect parking spot. But see, the thing that you want the most is still kind of fleeting in your mind. It still feels like a rarity to you. So then when something happens, we get so excited that we jump up and down for joy, and we kind of forget to do the things, right? We think, oh, this is the manifestation now. Now I don't have to focus on myself and love myself and do the affirmations and do the yada, 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 because it turns out all along we've been doing them only to get our desire, when really you should be doing them just for the sake of doing them, for the sake that they're good for you and they feel good and they make your life better and smoother and they make you feel better about yourself. That's why you should be doing those things, not to get the specific person, not to get the thing that you want so badly, okay? So, and I've had this happen many times. So these are kind of the pitfalls that you can encounter, but they're not, doesn't mean anything has gone tragically wrong, okay? It just means if you're facing something where you've been doing well for a long time and you're starting to see something happen with your manifestation, with your desire manifesting, just remember to keep doing what you've been doing, all right? Don't just stop at this point and get excited and then keep looking back at the reality to see what's happening now, what's happening now, what's happening now, because now you're bouncing back to the state you were in before you kind of let go and chilled out more, allowing the bridge of events to unfold, allowing the process to take care of itself, okay? So it's important at this point, yes, get excited, yes, celebrate the events that you like and the evidence of it coming in, celebrate that, feel good about it, but go back to making your life about you, okay? Don't at that point stop doing what you've been doing, because what you've been doing has been working, so don't stop doing it, keep doing it, okay? Keep practicing self-love, keep focusing on yourself, all right? She's been receptive and warm towards me, excellent, as we've made plans to hang out, wonderful. A day or two before we're supposed to meet, something always comes up at the last minute, whether it's family, friends, or her work, therefore forcing us to reschedule. So now you're meeting some resistance and difficulty and obstacles from life. But here's the thing, it may not be an obstacle. It may not be a problem, but you're perceiving it as a problem, right? Now you're kind of going, well, we seem to be moving backwards here. Sometimes it's difficult to kind of justify why things seem to be happening a certain way. But we have to understand that that could be part of the bridge of events as well. That could be part of the process as well. And to our mind, to our eyes, whatever, it looks like we're moving backwards, and oftentimes we're not. We're actually moving forward. This is a process. Remember, she has to go through a process as well. She's your ex. So maybe she's a little bit apprehensive about the relationship. Give her time. Let her come to you, all right? This is the time to really be careful and watch your inner state, and to chill out a little bit and calm down and not look at everything as being such a big deal. Don't blow every little event out of proportion and start seeing it as evidence of this or evidence of that, okay? Just because some obstacles have come up doesn't mean that your manifestation isn't moving forward. It might be that these obstacles are exactly what have to happen for the next stage of the process to unfold. You just don't know that part. This is why it's so important to not focus on the how, because your mind is going to conjure up all kinds of things that aren't necessarily true, and that can throw you back vibrationally, okay? You have to, at this point, this is where faith and belief kind of come into play, and I know I've mentioned in other videos they're not that important, and they're not, but they can be important. There are points when it is important to kind of just bite your lip, you know, to pinch yourself if you need to, and just kind of grin and bear it for a minute and just tell yourself, you know what, it's the process, and I don't quite understand it, and that's okay. And this is the part where I have to let go and just believe that this is exactly unfolding exactly as it needs to be right now, and that it's leading us exactly to where we need to be in order to get together again, okay? So sometimes appearances oftentimes can be very deceiving, especially to the monkey mind, because it has a very limited perspective. Your higher mind, your higher being, has a much broader, fuller perspective. It understands why certain things are unfolding the way they are. But don't try to make your mind figure it out, okay? Because that can really fool you, all right? So something always comes up. This has happened 2 or 3 times now, and I'm starting to believe that maybe she's just playing games and really doesn't have any interest in me. Well, you've been communicating, she's been warm to you, she's agreed to get together with you, so obviously she has an interest in you. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can tell you from personal experience, I don't contact people I'm not interested in. I don't try to make plans with people I'm not interested in. I don't even really break plans with people I'm not interested in. I wouldn't make them to begin with, but oftentimes, you know, even things like this that may seem like there's no interest, like things are always coming up, maybe things really are coming up, you know, and if she's letting you know, you got to kind of look at what she's doing. And this is more practical advice, that maybe this isn't so much manifesting advice. This is because we're talking about dating as well, and we're talking about relationships and how to understand each other and communicate with each other. And oftentimes the most practical advice is the best advice, or oftentimes what it is the path of least resistance, okay? I learned quite a while ago to stop listening to what people say and start looking at what they do, right? So look at what she's done here. And you didn't give that much detail, but here's the thing. You are communicating with each other, okay? you are making plans with each other, and she's doing that too. So it sounds like she is meeting you halfway. So again, if things are coming up, or maybe there's some apprehension on her part, and I want to say this about that, because you mentioned, if this is me pushed out, how am I doing this? Because I'm excited about communicating with her. I'm excited about meeting up with her. So how can her canceling plans at the last minute be me pushed out? And I want to say that you have this excitement that you're feeling about it, but sometimes excitement, that feeling of excitement, can be misconstrued, right? Sometimes it's fear and apprehension, and we think it's excitement. You may also have a little bit of apprehension inside of you about seeing her again, about things going well. Is she going to like you? What's going to happen when you get together? You know, is this really going to work out? There's always going to be those nagging doubts, okay? And it sounds like you're feeding them a little bit, all right? And you may not be aware that you're doing it, but we do it, again, we do it by default so often, right? We don't really notice we're doing it. But it sounds to me like you're feeding those fears a little bit in yourself, and what's happening, what's being reflected back to you here, is her being kind of fearful, her being kind of apprehensive about getting together with you, so that maybe at the last minute she keeps canceling because she's kind of freaking out a little bit too, okay? And it's okay to admit that to yourself. It's okay to say, yes, I'm excited, but I'm also a little bit, I got butterflies about this. I hope it works out. I don't know. What's she gonna think of me? Maybe it's been a long time. Maybe she'll think I've gotten fat, or whatever it is, right? All these insecurities start popping up, okay? And just be aware that your excitement could be mixed with some sense of fear, and a little bit of sense of apprehension, and maybe a little bit of self-sabotage, you know, because it's kind of pushing your comfort zone a little bit to go get together again, okay? And sometimes subconsciously we will sort of sabotage things, and in this case, in the case of manifesting, we'll sabotage things vibrationally sometimes, because we're a little scared and we're insecure, right? And so sometimes it feels more comfortable to just look at it this way. See if there isn't just a tiny little sense of relief when she cancels plans. Just a little tiny. Search yourself on the inside, all right? I always say, like, I'm examining myself on the inside. What are you doing right now, Tark? I'm just lying there. I'm examining myself on the inside. I'm looking at my inside walls, you know? Look at your inside walls. See if there isn't just the tiniest bit of relief when she cancels plans, and that should be your indication that you have some fear about meeting up with her. So then that's the part to work on. That could be you pushed out then. If she is canceling plans at the last minute, there might be a part of you that's kind of hoping she will, okay? And again, this is not an intellectual process, and it's difficult sometimes. This is subconscious stuff, all right? And it's difficult sometimes to admit to ourselves, even though we're saying and we're seeing on the outside that we're excited and we want this, there's always that little bit of shadow thing going on there, right? A little bit of the opposite going on. So take a look at that and see if that isn't something that's happening right there. All right, so, and I don't think she's playing games. I don't think that's what's going on. But that's just my personal opinion. And if she is playing games, then that would be a reflection of you possibly playing games on some level. And again, it may be that you're not aware of it. Sometimes most of the time we do these things subconsciously. We do them by default because it's a way we've been operating for a long time, or whatever it is, okay? You have to be honest with yourself in this process too. You have to really look at yourself, and the idea of you pushed out is about embracing those parts of yourself that may not be perfect either. That you kind of you look at other people doing things and you go, well, it's her doing this or it's him doing this. How is it me pushed out? It's an inside job, folks. This is an inside job. So you have to start turning it inwards and have to start looking at your behavior. And I know that can be difficult, that can be challenging to the ego. I know that, and I've done it, and I've felt that challenge, and I still do many times. But I'm aware of it now. So become aware of it a little bit. Learn to get to know yourself better, okay? Don't be so quick to point at other people and say it's their behavior that's making me unhappy, because this is kind of, maybe that's why you end up in this situation to begin with. We end up in these situations where we're you know, dealing with a breakup and heartbreak, and we want them back, but sometimes we still don't really want to admit our own part in that process, right? And things unfolding in that way. So manifesting and law of attraction and really mastering this stuff can be sticky work sometimes. It really has to come down to self-examination, and that's something that's very uncomfortable for most people. If you're used to pointing the finger at others your whole life, and no blame here, but I've done it, you know, it becomes a habit. It becomes your comfort zone. You have to push past that, and you have to start looking at yourself and your behavior and your thinking patterns and your belief patterns, and have to really sit down with yourself and examine what's going on in there, right? In here and in here. And that can be very uncomfortable. I know that. But it can also, it will be extremely rewarding as well. So where was I? So I'm on the verge of giving up. Sometimes being on the verge of giving up is exactly what's needed. Where you see it as giving up, what's really happening is you're letting go, but you're letting go in kind of a sudden, violent way, right? Not violent in a physical violence sense, but violently, sort of that feeling, that jerking of giving up, right? Sometimes giving up when you've tried everything and you feel so frustrated and exasperated, and you just go, ah, to hell with it all. I'm tossing it in the corner, I'm giving up. Can be exactly the thing that you need to let go, finally, of all this sticky, shitty resistance that you've been carrying around. Okay, so sometimes in the beginning, when we're learning to manifest, when we're learning this stuff, we go through this process very frequently of like the pushing, exhausting ourselves energetically, frustrating ourselves, and then, you know, I'm giving it up, screw it, and then suddenly something happens and we go, what the hell? I gave up. I was ready for this thing to be over, and now something happened. We're moving in a better direction again. Yeah, because what you thought was giving up was actually letting go. As you become better at this and as you practice it more, you won't have to go through such sort of violent, climactic, dramatic kind of giving up moments and shifts in your vibration, right? It'll be easier. You'll go, oh, okay, okay, I've been focusing on this too much. I've been pushing too hard. I'll just ease off the pedal a little bit, and I'll focus on some other things. It's a dance that you do. And then you, oh, okay, I've been focusing on other things for a while. I feel better about the situation. Now I'm gonna go back and focus on it again in a positive way. Okay, oh, now I'm pushing a little too much. I'll go back to doing this. So you're gonna learn how to do that little dance with yourself, that little vibrational energy kind of dance. You'll get better at this. You will. The more you practice this, you'll get better at it. So especially because I feel like I'm on the verge of giving up, especially because I've lost all faith and hope that this is possible, because it seems as if I'm taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Sure, and that's something I've talked about already. It's going to seem that way. And you said seem, right? So that's a key word right there. Just because it seems that way doesn't mean that's what's actually happening. And the faith and belief isn't important to have overall, okay? What's important to have, though, is a little bit of faith, or at least a little bit of having the chutzpah to kind of pull back and not interfere and involve yourself in the process that needs to unfold on its own, okay? So maybe it's not necessarily faith and belief, maybe it's a little bit of the courage to kind of step back and let go and let God kind of thing, if you've ever heard that term before. I'm gonna let go and let God, because in this sense, you're gonna let the universe and your higher being do what it needs to do, all right? To kind of lead you there, okay? So you've already decided what you want, you're feeling your way into it, you're aligning with it, it's already a done deal vibrationally, you're aligning yourself with it. Now you have to kind of step back and let the process unfold and not interfere with it too much. And interfering can also mean thinking about it too, like, what does it mean? And now it's over, and this means that, and I don't know why this happened when I did this. That's interfering with the process. That's always thinking about the how and the why and the why and the how. Okay, you're gonna drive yourself crazy doing that, and it's not your job. That's why it feels so heavy and so exhausting and exasperating and frustrating, okay? Anytime that you feel this kind of pushback from reality, it means you're pushing too hard, okay? Anytime you're facing really heavy obstacles like this, or things seem to be slowing down, it means you're involving yourself too much in the process, and you need to pull back and focus back on yourself. Remember what you did in the beginning. Remember what you said. I focused on myself, and there we had communication all of a sudden. Go back to that, okay? Don't just stop because you've had some communication now and you're gonna get together and you've made plans. You're kind of giving up on all the things that you did that got you there. And you need to keep doing those things. You need to keep practicing those things. You don't just stop, okay? You do those things, then you get a result. You get a positive result, and you go, awesome, woohoo! Then you go back to doing what you were doing, all right? Then you get another positive result, and you go, awesome, it's working. I see it coming. I see the bridge of events unfolding. Cool. You have a beer, pat yourself on the back, then you go back to focusing on yourself, okay? That's how it works, all right? Go back to what you were doing that was making things work. And don't go, oh, look, she's contacted me. Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? I have to do something. What do I do? Right? This is, again, involving yourself in the process. And this is often where we trip ourselves up. And then what happens is we start to see the process, the progress slow down. Then we become more frustrated and fearful about that. And then we feed, once again, we're in that cycle of feeding our fearful, frustrated, impatient kind of energy and vibration, and suddenly it seems like it's unraveling, right? So remember, keep going back to the process of focusing on yourself, letting go, doing what you were doing to when in the beginning you first had some communication and you guys were making plans together, okay? That's not the time to stop doing what you were doing. That's the time to amp it up, okay? Celebrate the little victories and the little signs, and then go back to doing what you were doing. It's very important. It's a 24/7 thing, folks, but that's why I always say keep doing it. Practice, 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 persistence, 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 and it will get easier. It will be like second nature to you, okay? Another thing I want to say about this, because your question here is, why is it that I get really excited, looking forward to it, just to get disappointed each and every time? So I've touched on one aspect of that. But another thing I want to say about that is excitement. Also, excitement carries with it a certain vibration. In this case, excitement carries with it the vibration of this thing, this particular desire, being a rarity, all right? So here's the thing, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the video too, which is already becoming a 40-minute video. I mentioned this a little bit earlier too, is, you know, we don't really care about the other things. We always have that one desire that we want more than any other, okay? And all the other little things that we're constantly manifesting that are awesome don't really show up on our radar. You know, they're kind of little blips and we go, oh, that's cool. Oh, right on. Yeah, oh, that person called me. I'm not really interested in that person, but that's cool. So here's the thing. Those are all good manifestations, but we want that one thing. We want it so badly. And the reason those other things seem to come to us so easily as opposed to the thing we really want is because we have an attitude about the other things that's kind of, okay, cool, well, whatever, oh, that happened, cool, but I'd be okay. I would have been okay if it didn't happen, but it's cool that it did. And that's precisely the attitude we need to have about that one desire we want really badly. And this is where things can seem challenging, because how do I stop wanting it so badly? Well, this is why you focus on yourself rather than the person. You focus on making your life the most exciting thing you can make, the most fun thing you can make. You focus on your visualizations and your scenes being so awesome that they trump the reality, okay? That they feel like the reality. They feel like it's already happening. They satisfy that urge and that need in you for it to be a thing, for the feeling and the state that you're after, okay? That's how you do it. So the thing about excitement and that sense of excitement is that it may feel like, ooh, I'm excited about this. It may feel like an awesome emotion, but the vibration behind it, all right, what you're signaling with that emotion and that sense of excitement oftentimes is that this is so rare. This is such a rare thing that she's contacting me, that she's making plans with me. Oh my God, this doesn't happen. So what's reflecting back to you is, you're right, this doesn't happen. This is really rare, really difficult to obtain, takes a really long time, is very layered and complicated. And so what you're getting back is layered and complicated and difficult and obstacles, okay? You have to start looking at it as a normal thing. And this is the reason you go into your end result, because if you're feeling it like you're already living it, then you're almost taking it for granted, okay? I'm not saying take it completely for granted, but the feeling of it being, Oh yeah, that's there. Of course that's a thing. Of course she's contacting me. Of course she's making plans with me. Of course it's going to be awesome. Of course these are the events that are unfolding to get us back together again. Of course my relationship is coming. It's already a done thing. It's already a done deal, my desire. All I'm doing is lining up with it. Oh, and look, I've been doing that. I've been doing that really well. I've been focusing more on myself, and that's a way of lining up with it. So look at it happening. Cool, awesome. You kind of have to have that same attitude about this that you have about all the other things that aren't such a big deal to you, but that are cool, but I can take them or leave them, right? That's the thing about this. And so your feeling of excitement kind of indicates that you still see this as something being too good to be true, okay? You're bringing a too good to be true attitude towards this, and that is you pushed out then. What you're getting back is the reflection of that attitude, okay? Oh yeah, it is too good to be true, so let's make it difficult. Let's put obstacles in your way. All right, let's slow this thing down to a trickle so that, you know, you're going to constantly be like biting your fingernails and wondering what's going on. When's it coming? What's happening now? What's happening now? What's happening now? Okay? So be aware of that. Sometimes all right, so what I've said so far already, A is that excitement can also be hiding a sense of fear and apprehension about this thing actually coming to pass and manifesting in your life. And B, that excitement carries with it the mindset and the vibration and the energy of this being rare and difficult to come by. And you have to start thinking of it, training your mind to start thinking of it as normal. It's normal that she contacts me. It's normal that she wants to get back together with me. It's normal that she wants to make plans with me and that she's going to keep them. Of course we're going to get together. That kind of thing. Of course this is easy. This is easy and this is normal. And the way you know that what it's really working out for you is by the ease of it coming into your life, all right? Anytime something is coming into your life in a difficult way, it seems difficult, it seems like there's a lot of obstacles, that can also be an indication, very often and very strong indication, that you're pushing too hard and you've got an idea about this thing being rare and abnormal and not common and difficult, okay? And difficult and complicated to obtain. So this is about again, changing yourself and your perspective and your narrative around this thing. Well, we got together before. Of course we're going to get together again. She loved me once. She'll love me again. Love never really dies. It just becomes dormant. So all we're doing is waking that up again, right? So start thinking and talking to yourself in that way, all right? Excitement is okay, and I'm not telling you not to be excited because that would be a really tall order. But understand what excitement is versus sort of the mindset of it being rare and abnormal for this thing to unfold that I mentioned, okay? So it can seem very nuanced and kind of complicated and tricky and a little bit of a pain in the ass, but again, this is an inside job. So this is about you really training yourself to look at yourself, right? Probably more than you ever have before, if you even have before. And many of us never have really done this before. This level of self-examination and paying attention to ourselves at every given moment of our waking hours. It can seem tedious at first, but the more you practice it again, the easier it's going to become, okay? Another thing I want to say about this before I wrap this up, because I'm going on 45 minutes here. I'm noticing my brain's starting to shut down again. So, and I apologize for that. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot the last couple of weeks. You know, I flew to Germany from the States, then I drove here. So I'm really just, my brain is catching up right now. But I'm getting there, The last thing I want to say about this too, another way that you can look at these, because you're looking at them as obstacles and as problems, okay? And again, this goes back to me talking about, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here, you don't really always know whether something is an obstacle or whether it is the process unfolding, whether it is the bridge of events or a part of the bridge of events that needs to unfold. It can seem like it's an obstacle to us, all right? But it may not actually be an obstacle. It may be exactly the thing that needs to happen. This is often why people go, I really want to manifest a better job. I'm miserable at my job. And so they focus on it. You know, they feel good about it. They go into their visualizations with it. They're more joyful in their life. And then suddenly they get laid off or they get fired. And then they go, what the hell happened? Well, you're manifesting a new job. So, you know, this is the universe reconstructing your reality. It's reconstructing your stage, basically. Like you know, you've got all the stage hands. If you're like putting on a play or something, there's the curtain drops and then all the sets change really quickly, right? All the little stage hands run back there and take that one out, put this one in. Here's the tree now, and here's the, right? So that's kind of what's happening. The set is being rearranged for you. The scene is being rearranged for you. So you have to step back at this point because it's not your cue yet, okay? You have to let the scene be rearranged, all right? So then they often find if they just kind of get past that initial shock of being laid off or fired, that suddenly an opportunity will pop up, and it'll be the perfect opportunity that's going to get them exactly to where they want to be, right? Exactly the job and the career they wanted instead. So let this play out, all right? Here's a way to look at this differently. Instead of saying these are obstacles or these are problems, you start saying they're nothing more than inconveniences. That sometimes the stage being rearranged, the set being rearranged, it can feel inconvenient and it can feel uncomfortable, but it's just what needs to happen to get me to the next level with this thing, to get us to the next phase in the unfoldment of my desire and my manifestation. So start changing your narrative. Watch how you speak to yourself. All right, if you're using words like problems and obstacles, then what you're doing is you're going to keep putting that vibration of that mindset out there, and you're going to keep getting those things back, right? You're going to keep getting obstacles and problems and slowdowns and all that kind of stuff, okay? Start looking at this differently. So I hope that I've been able to give you a little bit of a clue, a little bit of an insight into what's going on here, and an idea of how to look at this from a different angle from now on, so that you can, you know, when these things come up, you don't trip over them so hard, all right? They're not mountains, they're not big trees in your way, they're little pebbles on the road. You just hop over them or walk around them, okay? They can seem and feel uncomfortable, but you're on your way and on your path to what unfoldment of the unfoldment of your desire and your manifestation. So I hope that's helped you, Ganyu. I hope I've not slaughtered your name. Thank you all the new subscribers. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers as a result of my interview with Agnes. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Manifestation.lab group, which is growing as well, and I'm not as involved in that group. Every now and then I go through posts and I'll comment on them, but if you don't see me around, it's not because I hate you or anything like that. Things have been very, very busy lately, so I'll try to do more videos soon. They may be a little bit slower in coming than they have been. But I'm here for about a month, and then I'm back in Germany, and then I'll be flying back to the States in August, so things are going to even out again. But there will be more videos coming up here and from here, but just to let you know kind of what's going on with me, that I haven't been that present on the channel, and that's why. I've just been kind of having a bunch of things going on and just been traveling at the speed of a shooting star. But things are kind of steadying out now, and I'm back to making videos, and I'm back to looking at comments and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to the wonderful commenters. Thank you to the people who joined the group. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for hitting like and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, please do so now. And that's it for this one. 47 minutes. Wow, is that a record? Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm 𝗙𝗏, and until next time, all right? Happy manifesting, happy labbing, and take care. Bye-bye.